I've been gone for so long, but I'm back. And I have a great recipe I want to share with you in the kitchen today. I've been traveling and just enjoying the summer into autumn season. I went wine tasting over a couple of weekends, Temecula and Central Coast in California, and visited many wineries. I think altogether I've been to, over those few weekends, about 43 or so wineries and vineyards, and I've had such a good time tasting wine. So many different flavors and so many different varietals, and it was just such a joy. We also did, when we went up north to the Central Coast, in Paso, we did olive oil tasting as well, and that was super exciting. We tasted a bunch of olive oils, but one in particular that stood out to me that was delicious was actually at my favorite vineyard. It's actually called Dow Vineyards, and Dow is known for their reds. Actually, most of Paso is known for their reds because it's a warmer climate, whereas maybe Edna Valley is known for their whites and the rosés because it's a colder climate. Cooler. I mean, we are in California. It's a cooler climate, but Dow is known for their reds, and all of their wines are so spectacular. But the Cabernet that they do, the Cabernet Sauvignon, is delicious. It's, I think it's one of my favorites. But they also have olive trees on their vineyard, and they make olive oil, cold press olive oil, unfiltered, delicious. So I got a couple of bottles of these, but I wanted to share with you something that I learned that I didn't know. This is actually in a blue bottle, and she said that the blue protects the olive oil, or preserves the olive oil better because of the darker glass, as opposed to, say you were going to take some olive oil that you bought in the store and you pour it into a little olive oil bottle with a pour on top. The light that comes in actually changes the flavor of the olive oil, which I didn't know about. So this actually, the darker bottles, she said the blue is the best, preserves the olive oil a little bit more. So I never knew that. So it was a fun little tip. So we had such a good time. This olive oil is delicious. So if you're ever in the Dow, it's at Dow Mountain in Paso. They have their so many acres of their vineyards right there, and it's gorgeous. They're at the top of the mountain, and you could sit there for hours just looking out, sipping wine. It's breathtaking. So that was actually my favorite winery. However, there's so many wonderful, fun wineries and vineyards in that area. So we had such a good time. Anyway, let's get cooking. I want to show you this awesome recipe. So here are the ingredients. Guys, this is so super simple. So this recipe is actually with ground turkey, and it's basically a creamy white fajita chili. And the reason why it's fajita chili is because I'm using fajita seasoning. So you get the taste of fajitas except in a chili, and oh my gosh, it's so good. So because it's white, I'm using white beans, some diced tomatoes, some green chilies, some spices. So I have a bunch of different spices that you could tweak it up to what you like, but I use the crushed red pepper because I like it spicy, some cumin, some dried cilantro, and then you want to put fresh cilantro on top when you're serving. And then this is what I'm going to use to make it creamy. I'm going to put some this crema mexicana table cream into the chili when it's done, right before serving, and it's so delicious. And then you need some chicken stock or beef stock. Actually, sometimes I use chicken stock. I'm actually going to use beef stock just to give it a little beefier flavor. And I just use just a couple of tablespoons of this to some water, gives you some stock or broth. Okay, and then I have 2 onions that I'm going to chop up, and I have a bunch of garlic. And the garlic, actually, you want to go by what you like. If you don't like garlic, don't put any garlic in. I like a lot of garlic, and I'm not going to dice it. I'm actually going to slice it so that there's bigger pieces of garlic in the chili. Okay, and again, this is the secret, the main ingredient here. It's gonna give it the fajita flavor, and it's so, so good. All right, so let me start chopping the onions and the garlic and browning the ground turkey. All right, guys, so I browned up the turkey. I didn't put anything in it yet. I browned it up, and I'm gonna add I large diced the onions. So I have 2 medium onions here, large diced. Okay, we're gonna add that in. Okay, yum, yum. I love onions, love onions and garlic. Okay, the garlic I'm not gonna add in yet. Okay, now we're gonna add the spices and the fajita mix. Okay, so in here, we're gonna add the crushed red pepper. So depending on how spicy you like it, that's how much you put in. We like it kind of spicy. So I would say this is probably about a half a teaspoon maybe, if I had to guess. Okay. Ground cumin, because that's usually a good chili flavoring. So just a little bit. So probably like maybe a 1/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. Okay. Smells like chili. And then I always layer, so my cilantro I always layer. I have dried cilantro, but I also use crushed cilantro in this as well. Some people love cilantro, some people don't. I happen to love it. And because I'm going to use a lot of this, these little tops, you can't hardly get anything out. So let me just open this up. Okay, so I'm going to say about a tablespoon of cilantro. This gives it a good flavor, but the fresh cilantro at the end also is the pop as well, I think. Okay, and of course we're going to add salt and pepper to this. So I have just some sea salt, probably about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And I have some coarsely ground pepper, probably 1/4 of a teaspoon. Okay. And then I just added a little olive oil in to brown the turkey. So as far as the meat, you can actually use, if you wanted to make a white chicken chili, you could use rotisserie chicken for this. You could use beef, anything. I tried to cut down on the red meat factor. So I do eat red meat. Oh my God, I would never stop. But just to get things healthy a little bit and switch it up, I make ground turkey a lot. I use ground turkey. Okay, so now into this mixture as it cooks down, as the onions cook down a bit and soften, we're gonna actually add the fajita seasoning. Okay, so at this point you can make a taco soup at this point. This is a good basis for lots of things. But you can make a taco soup by using taco seasoning and adding your beans and some green chilies, which we're going to add here in a minute, and some broth. And it makes a yummy, yummy taco soup. It makes a taco soup. Okay. So I just want to soften the onions just a little bit more. So while that sizzles away just a few minutes longer, then I'm going to add the fajita seasoning, and then I'm going to add the green chilies. Okay, so I'll be back in just a moment. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, so we are ready to add the rest of the ingredients. So I roughly chopped the garlic. So I want it to still be chunky so you can kind of like get pieces of the garlic in there instead of it melting away. Okay. All right. So, oh my gosh, it smells so good. All right. We're going to add the fajita seasoning, all of it. Okay, so this is going to season this up. Come here, you little guy. Okay, so just cook the fajita seasoning just a few moments. Okay, now we're going to add the wet ingredients. So we have, this recipe is about 2 mini cans of the green chilies, but I got this medium sized can, so I thought that would be perfect. The one thing I love about canned green chilies, they add so much flavor. Okay, so that's the green chili. Okay, we're going to add the can of diced tomatoes. These are just regular diced tomatoes. Fire roasted tomatoes would be really, really good too, but this is what I had in the pantry. So with the juice and everything, I'm going to add that in. Okay. All right. We're just going to simmer this just a little bit till it comes back up, just to give the tomatoes and the green chilies just a few moments. And then we're going to add the broth, and we're going to add the rinsed beans. So I will be back. All right, this is simmered away for just a few minutes, and I am ready to add in the 2 cans of white beans, navy beans, cannelli beans, whatever kind of beans you want to use. But if you were making, say you weren't making this white, you could use kidney beans. You can use any kind of beans you want to. They're rinsed. Okay. And then what I did was I took you want the beef stock. I use my beef base, and I just put a couple of tablespoons in. And then per each tablespoon, you want a cup of water. So I'm dissolving that beef base in some warm water, and I'm just gonna add that in. And then see, you can see the beef base there. It didn't all dissolve, but it will cook into the soup. Okay, and again, you can use chicken broth. Okay, so that beef base will melt in, and this is gonna be so good. Okay. All right, so from here, we're just gonna let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes and cook away. And we're gonna taste it for seasoning at that point. Oh my gosh, doesn't it look so good? Look at that. All right, I will be back to show you the finished product. Hey guys, I'm back and it's time to taste test this yummy fajita white turkey chili. It's so, oh my gosh, it smells so good. Okay, I wanted to show you what I use to actually make it white. I mean, apart from the beans that make it white, and the turkey meat, of course, is white. Let me show you what I put here. So I have some chopped cilantro, fresh cilantro. I'm gonna put in a little bit, and then some mozzarella cheese. So I'm gonna put in a little mozzarella, and that's gonna melt into just a little bit. I forgot a spoon. Let me go grab a spoon. Okay, so that cilantro and mozzarella, I'm gonna mix it up in that hot chili to get it going. Okay, then this crema mexicana, which is so good in everything. I'm gonna put a little bit into the bowl, just a little bit to taste. So good. So see, now I'm gonna mix it all up. We have an air show going on in Huntington Beach today, so that's what you hear in the background. If you do hear those planes, it's the air show. Okay, and then just a little bit more cilantro to top it off. That's it. Okay, so I am going to give it a try. Oh, that mozzarella. Look at that mozzarella. Oh my gosh. That is so good. So you could add any kind of cheese. You can add cheddar. You could add, if you're not cilantro, if you're not a cilantro fan, don't add the cilantro. Parsley works, or nothing at all. Some chopped raw onion is good in this. Sour cream, if you don't want if you can't find the Mexican crema, which usually you can find in any grocery store. It says table cream. You could use a little sour cream, but it's smoother. It's not as sour as sour cream. Look at that. Look at that cheese. Oh my gosh. It's so, so good. You guys give this a try. It's so simple and so delicious. Give it a try. I hope you like this recipe, and I won't wait so long to come back to you with more recipes. I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, guys.